tell you a tiny little episode of Dora's house. Dora had, as I said, a daughter Roza, and Roza had a baby. And they themselves didn't have nothing what to eat. And one of the days that I remember that certain things, they just stay and they don't go away, and certain things you wish you remember, you just can't remember. So this is life, unfortunately. So the Roza did not have nothing what to give to that baby, what to eat. The baby was more or less maybe a year, something. And the house was clean. When I say clean, I mean nothing. And being that they were wealthy people, and they were not in lager, they remained in Chernovitz. A lot of people did not go to the lager, but they had their own misfortunes. So I remember that Chernovitz, as I said, a very beautiful city. They lived in the center of the city, in a very rich neighborhood. She had like linens, very nice linens, rich, beautiful things. And it was a very muddy, snowy day, slush. And I remember walking with her, with Roza, in the evening. We were walking to a certain place that she had to sell to a certain man in a certain restaurant, these things. Sure enough, while walking in the slush, there was, as I said, there was the slush, and walking in the slush, the man did not buy from her the things. This is the story. She didn't sell nothing, and for tomorrow she didn't have nothing what to give to the child. So while walking in the slush, for some reason I bent over and I found something. One thing I pick up, and then another, and then the third. So it came out that I 3 times bent over and I found money. In the morning, Roza had plenty what to give her child what to eat. We went to the market. It happened so that this is what really happens. If there are miracles, among other miracles which I got through, this was also one of the miracles. That particular daughter lives right now in Israel, in Roza too. It's interesting that how life turns out. A lot of the people that I left Russia, that I'll come back, that I left Russia for many, many years, and I thought I'll never see them in the life, then I met them in Israel. A lot of people, most of the family is almost in Israel, most of it. So this was that episode while I was living by Dora, besides others, which it's, the story is so long that you'll be tired listening. I don't want to tire you down. So finally Velvo decided that I have to come back to him. Why? I don't know. In between there was some kind of a conversation. Our uncle from America, there was from my father's side, some kind of a Dr. Gershberg, which very interesting. Supposedly he left inheritance, and he really, and after many, many, many years, I learned, and I went to the archives, and they never had the inheritance. But there was a mess. Everybody was fighting about the child. That means me. But I did not have one good boss. So finally, living with Velvo in his household, I was working in a stocking factory, excuse me, and very nice factory. Being that I started already being in the light industry, any machine is already a machine. They go in the families. So I was working in the stocking family, and I don't know how, certain things I don't precisely even remember myself. Something did not work out. I think I had lice in my head, and I had to shave my hair. The story finished is that I left Velvo, and I went away to Donbass. Donbass is, from light industry, I switched to heavy industry. Donbass is heavy industry, almost central Russia, and I worked. I was there 16. I showed you the picture. I was saying that I'm very strong. I was very strong, not having too much, but to eat. I was a very strong girl. Physically, I was fast and strong. So working in that factory, I was loading and unloading a lot of very fast, big motion sand. And I was schlepping in my bag heavy bags of. The factory was, by the way, glass factory. Don't remember the name either. And so the glass they make out of sand, which I got to know, and of delamite, are a very heavy stone. Stone is not. It's a heavy stone, but it's a soft actually stone. It's very light to ground. And I remember these big barabans, how the noise with the grinding them. And I was schlepping like about in the second floor soda for the also part of glass making. So I had it. It was very, very hard. I was living in a dormitory with a lot of girls. 6 o'clock I used to wake up. It was 3 shifts, but I didn't work the third shift. I didn't work at night. Later on I worked. It was very physical work. So in the morning I remember I had a jar of some kind of jelly. I used to fill up the jar with water and sugar and a piece of bread, and I used to eat and drink. And 6 o'clock I went off to work. And actually, when you're young, I guess you like everything almost. When you're young, you're also stupid, by the way. I talk for myself, not for you. We were traveling from the dormitories to the factory on trucks, on open trucks, and it was cold. It was so cold, and the frost was burning the cheeks. But the Russian girls loved to sing. We were singing our heart out. We loved to sing, and I like to sing, by the way. And we were singing so loud and so beautiful. The voices were just carrying. Somebody would, in those days, if somebody would have been able to record, they sure would have had nice voices, natural. In the frost, on the truck, and you were happy. You didn't know from nothing. You only knew you have to work. And Stalin used to say, "Mach shemo," that's in Hebrew. He used to say, "Kto nie работает, тот не кушает." The one that does not work does not eat. Stalin's policy. Stalin's policy was also "Закаляйся как сталь," which it means be strong like steel. This was the policy of life. Закаляйся как сталь. Don't listen to the rest of it, whatever. It was hard. It was not joke at all. Came out that I worked in there. I have a little on my belly from lifting up very big, heavy stones. So I have a little mark, which only on the beach you could see it. Otherwise, I'm sorry, folks. So what happened? That one of the days, I don't know how it worked out in that particular factory. It worked out that they needed a man, a night watcher. It had to be watched, that these elevators that carries a certain up and down to the factory, etc. Sure enough, and then I worked a little bit for the lab for that glass factory. I took samples for all kinds of, if the glass is good or no, sand and here and there. And sure enough, I applied to be the nightman, the night watchman. What can I tell you? That was less than fun. I was frightened like a dog. I was so skinny and I was so young. And I used to crawl in under the elevator over there. And I used to sleep the whole night. That's it. I don't care. Let them take whatever they want. What's my business? And anyhow, I went away. Dad was, I didn't say that, Dad was, the Russians needed